So you decided to take the plunge, huh? Into Jacques Ellul's The Technological Society.
Yeah.
Dense read, to say the least.
Definitely.
But don't worry, we're here to help you unearth those golden nuggets without getting lost in the jargon.
Yeah.
Think of us as your trusty guides through Ellul's world.
That's right. And trust me, there's some real gems in here.
Yeah.
Ellul isn't just, warning about machines taking over or any of that. It's deeper than that.
Right.
He's saying technology at its very core, it reshapes us.
Totally.
In ways we barely even notice.
It's like he's saying our smartphones are just the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly.
And, Ellul makes this really crucial distinction between machines
Yes.
and technique.
Right.
And what's the difference?
Well,
Grab your thinking caps, folks, because this is where it gets interesting.
yeah, he uses technique to describe this all-encompassing drive for efficiency.
Okay.
That one best way mentality.
I like that.
And here's the real kicker. Ellul argues this isn't some evil plot. It's not a conspiracy. It's a natural progression.
Yeah.
He calls it a law of development, playing out over centuries.
But did this optimization obsession always exist?
Well,
A law dies into history a bit, right?
he does.
What about those periods where technological advancement seemed to stall?
Right. He brings up this period between the Roman Empire's fall and the Renaissance.
Okay.
Almost no major technological leaps for centuries.
Wow.
Ellul argues that the social structures and mindsets of that time just weren't wired for it.
Interesting.
The environment, so to speak, wasn't ripe for that kind of advancement.
Fascinating.
Isn't it?
It's like technology needs the right conditions to bloom. Almost like I won't say a flower.
Right.
We're talking about Ellul here.
Of course.
But you get the idea. So once those social conditions shifted,
Yeah.
did that fling open the door for the technological revelation?
That's a great question.
Or was it not that simple?
It's rarely simple.
Right.
But Ellul would argue it's less about a door flinging open and more like a tide slowly rising,
Yeah.
eventually shaping the entire coastline.
Huh.
It's subtle, powerful, and often we don't even realize it's happening until it's already reshaped the landscape.
Okay, so no dramatic eureka moment.
Right.
More like a slow and steady takeover.
Exactly.
And this technique, as Ellul calls it,
Yeah.
starts seeping into everything, right?
It does.
Let's talk about economics.
Okay.
Most people think of factories' assembly lines when they think about economics. Is
That's
that what
it.
Ellul means?
He covers that, sure, but he goes deeper.
Okay.
Ellul argues that technique doesn't just change how we produce goods.
Okay.
It reshapes our entire understanding of value work, even leisure time.
Wow. So it's not just about churning out products faster.
Right.
It changes how we think about the whole
Yeah.
work-life balance. Anyone.
Exactly. Ellul would argue even the concept of work-life balance
Really?
is influenced by this technique.
Mm.
He uses this example of economic man.
Okay.
This idea that, we're all inherently driven by economic needs. Ellul says, not so fast. This economic man isn't some universal truth.
It's not.
It's a product of technique itself.
Wow. So technique creates the problem.
Right.
And then hands us the solution.
Exactly.
Which conveniently keeps the whole system running.
It's very cyclical.
Okay, mind blown. But let's talk power dynamics for a second.
Okay.
Does Ellul think this technique plays nice with politics?
What?
Or is it a whole other beast?
Get ready for a curveball.
Okay.
Because Ellul argues that technique doesn't just influence politics.
Yeah.
It reshapes the entire playing field.
Really?
He says it transforms governments into these massive interconnected machines.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one best way mentality we talked about?
Yeah.
Ellul says it even seeps into how we organize and govern ourselves.
So no more campaign promises, just algorithms for everything.
Pretty much.
That's both terrifying and strangely believable.
Right.
But if technique is shaping us so much,
Yeah.
where does that leave, us, like actual human beings trying to navigate this increasingly efficient world?
That's where Ellul's work gets really thought-provoking.
Okay.
He argues that we're not just passive bystanders in this technological revolution.
We're not.
We're being molded by it becoming, in a sense, products of technique ourselves.
Hold on. Are we talking about becoming robots here? Because I haven't received that software update yet.
Not robots in the literal sense, thankfully.
Okay.
But think about it this way.
Yeah.
What shapes our desires, our values, even our sense of identity?
I don't know.
Ellul would argue that technique plays a much bigger role than we realize.
Than we realize.
Than we realize.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going.
Okay.
Give us some concrete examples.
Sure.
How does this human molding actually happen?
Ellul points to things like propaganda and advertising as human techniques.
Okay.
Now, these aren't machines that you can unplug,
Right.
but they're incredibly powerful tools designed to influence our behavior, shape our desires, even mold our perceptions of the world.
So it's like we're being nudged and manipulated by these invisible forces.
Yeah.
Even when we think we're like making our own choices.
That's true.
It's kind of creepy when you really think about it.
It is.
Does Ellul offer any ways to break free from this technique spell?
Well,
Or are we stuck?
Ellul doesn't offer a simple escape hatch or anything,
Okay.
but he does provide some really interesting ideas for how to resist becoming completely absorbed by technique.
Okay.
He argues that the first step is awareness,
Got it.
recognizing the influence of technique in our everyday lives.
So step one, admit you have a problem.
Exactly.
Okay, that tracks. But awareness alone doesn't really seem like a winning strategy.
Right.
What else does he suggest?
He stresses the importance of actively engaging with technology
Okay.
rather than passively consuming it.
Okay.
It's about making conscious choices about how and when we use technology
Instead
of letting it dictate the terms of our lives.
I see.
Think of it like this. Instead of letting some algorithm decide what you watch,
Yeah.
what you read or buy,
Right.
you make those decisions based on your values and priorities.
So it's about like taking back the reins,
Exactly.
becoming the driver of our own technological journey.
That's right.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But here's a thought. What if our very attempts to resist are co-opted by technique itself?
Right.
It feels like a losing battle sometimes.
That's the challenge that Ellul presents.
Yeah.
He argues that even our attempts to fix the problems of technique can be subtly absorbed and repurposed by the system itself.
Oh.
It's this constant dance, this balancing act between harnessing the benefits of technology and preventing it from becoming this all-consuming force in our lives.
It's like trying to outsmart an algorithm that's constantly learning and adapting.
Exactly.
So how do we even begin to navigate this
It's tough.
complex relationship with technique?
It is, but while Ellul doesn't offer a step-by-step guide,
Okay.
he does encourage us to cultivate this healthy skepticism, to question the assumptions that are kind of baked into the technologies we use every day.
Like what?
Ask yourself, who benefits from this technology?
Okay.
What are the potential downsides?
Right.
And by asking these critical questions, we can start to see technique for what it is.
And what's that?
A powerful force that can be used for good or ill,
Right.
depending on our choices.
It's like remembering that we're still in the driver's seat,
Yes.
even if it doesn't always feel that way.
Exactly.
And as we wrap up this deep dive
Yeah.
into Ellul's The Technological Society,
Right.
what's the key takeaway?
Well, I think Ellul's work
Yeah.
isn't meant to scare us away from technology,
Okay.
but to empower us to engage with it more thoughtfully and intentionally.
Right.
It's a call to recognize the profound influence
Influence.
that technique has on our lives,
Yeah.
and to choose a path where technology serves humanity
Okay.
rather than the other way around.
A powerful message and one that feels more relevant than ever.
I think so.
So to our listener, as you continue to explore Ellul's work and navigate our increasingly technological world,
Right?
remember, awareness is key.
Yes?
Critical thinking is your compass.
Absolutely.
And the choices you make, however small they may seem, can shape the future of technology and its impact on humanity.
Well said.
Until next time, keep diving deep.